Hello and welcome to Cabin Flannel.
What episode is this? What,
This
episode
is five.
5?
Episode
Okay.
5, yep. Yeah, we've already lost count, so.
Sad, but
kind of sad. We're in a different location than we usually are. We're
not that you guys can tell.
Yep, I know it sounds totally different. Can you hear it? Yep. Sounds totally different.
No dog running around, so
there's no dog running around. Love you, Blazer, but dude. Yeah, Ryan is actually up here in Omaha with me. We're at Creighton University right now in a practice room. Yep. Would you like to share why you're up in town, Ryan?
Not really.
Okay, let's move on to the next thing.
Yeah, we came up because I'm going to have my dreams crushed tonight. So figured I'd have a shoulder to cry on at least.
Yeah. Is that my shoulder that you're talking about?
No, it's Josh.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
That's, you know what? Josh he's a real stand-up guy. So,
But we're going to see the movie Ready Player One tonight.
Oh, yeah.
It's technically opening night, but technically not because it started playing last night because, movies do that to...
Yeah, they always put it like a day before for some reason than the actual release date.
So it's a Thursday when we're recording this. We're going to go see it tonight. I have read the book twice, and
I have read 3/4 of the book once.
And you,
I know. I don't know why, and that's one of the only books. Like I don't do that very often. Like most books, I make sure I finish it all. But
it's such a good book.
For some reason, I just stopped. I don't know why. But I can't explain it.
I love the book. One of my all-time favorites. We're going to see the movie tonight, and I know it's going to be terrible.
It's probably going to disappoint you. I think
100% going to disappoint me. I'm going in with super low expectations, and I know it's still going to disappoint me.
Yeah, I mean, at least you're trying. That's kind of the. I think I might be in better shape because I don't remember a lot of the book for one, and I don't know how it ends, and so I think I might be able to take the movie for what it's worth, at least. But I already, just by looking at the trailers, I know they've made some big changes. And so I don't know. I hope Spielberg I hope he's got it figured out. I'm sure he'll make a good movie, but he's going to upset some fans, I'm sure.
Yes.
I feel like he can't really help but do that.
But I mean, we'd made plans to see this opening night, quote unquote opening night. Mm-hmm. Like as soon as the trailers and stuff came out for it, because I was like, let's go see it.
The trailers look pretty awesome.
And I started seeing reviews, and I've read too many reviews.
Too many reviews. That's rough, but anyway, I'm still excited for it.
I'm excited, but
it'll be nice.
I know it's gonna disappoint me.
Yeah, but Ryan, he rolled in yesterday, and now we shot some hoops for a little while. That was fun.
Yeah.
And then what time did you roll in? Like
6. It was just after 6.
Yeah, and then I had class. I had class this morning too. He had to you just got to sleep in.
I just slept in. Yeah, it's fine with me.
I had to go to class.
Notice.
I woke up at like 7. I think it was 7:30, but which I know it's not that early either. But it's hard sometimes. We stayed up till like 2 in the morning because we watched Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
That was my first time seeing it. I watched the first maybe 15-20 minutes with my parents a couple nights ago. And I knew Caleb, he's talked about it before. He said,
it's one of my favorites.
So I was like, okay, I have to finish it because it looked really good.
Yeah, I love it.
It was really good.
Yeah,
movie.
Edgar Wright's one of my favorite directors.
If you haven't seen it, it's not
very,
a normal movie.
No, it's not it's not a traditional movie at all. I mean, it's weird and it's geared very much towards I don't want to say a younger audience, but people who grew up with video games and grew up in and are kind of in that college. I haven't quite started my life yet, but I'm working on it. Kind of stage. It appeals very much to those people and musicians too. I mean, if you've ever been in a band or anything,
I have.
I've been in a band. I can relate. But it really is just a great movie. It's one of my favorites.
It was really good.
Yeah.
So, and I don't like movies very much, so.
Says the guy who works at a video store.
Manages a video.
Oh, I'm sorry. Manages a video store.
Yeah, get it right.
I got to get that right. Yeah. But, I mean, but basketball was fun. I think we can roll into talking about some of our sports experiences. Yeah. Last night there were good games and bad games.
Yeah. There was one guy there who was kind of a jerk.
He's one of those people who, because if you've ever played a pickup game of basketball with people, there's that one guy who wants to tell everybody else how to play.
And then he'll just ball hog the whole time and try to shoot and put up
because it puts
shot.
bad blood. I did not want to talk to him, and he was making me really frustrated. And so, of course, I don't want to, and I tried really hard to incorporate, but it's rarely ever one person's fault if the team's, not doing well. And so you have to
it was one person's fault.
It was his fault. But he was acting like it was my fault, and I'm saying no, you have to work as a team. You got to pass the ball. You gotta set up some plays. And when we did, because we did have some times where it went really well, we did something positive, and I tried to, and I celebrated. I was like, yeah, give him a high five and stuff. But for the most part, because he kept telling me I was playing defense on Ryan, and he's like, and Ryan was making shots. Like he was
I was having a very lucky night. I was throwing up shots that were just banking off the backboard that I did not mean to go off the backboard and going in. Like it was, very lucky.
Playing well. And I totally respect that. But I was just kind of out of it by that point. I wasn't having a good day, so I was like, And this guy, he's like, get on him. Don't give him that space. Don't give him that open 3-pointer. And he kept saying things every time something happened. And I finally told him.
And they weren't helpful tips.
They were not helpful tips.
Don't give him an open 3-pointer.
Yeah, which I'm not supposed to give him an open 3-pointer. I thought I was supposed to, fair, all's fair, right? You just give him a shot.
Yeah, it was just stupid stuff like that. Play defense.
Yeah, and I've played basketball for a long time. I'm not a newbie. I'm not an idiot when it comes to playing basketball. And this guy definitely was treating me like one. And I told him, I'm like, you don't need to tell me. And I tried to make it clear that I wanted him to shut up. It was very frustrating. And finally he did. Once I said something, he finally kind of backed off. But by that point, I did not want to play that game at all, and I was just ready to leave. And that last game did not go very well. But
I think we both had some pretty terrible sports experiences through our years in grade school and high school and all that kind of stuff.
I dare say. We've had some good ones too. I mean, I've had some good experiences. What, you can't think of any
that I've had? I'm
You've
trying to think
of good experiences. Sporting experiences.
I've had some decent ones.
Yeah,
but
I've had good ones too. But we'll start with the bad, and then we can go into the good.
Well, let's just start from our early years and
from phase one.
Yeah, we'll go through
from age 3.
So I didn't play. The first sport I played was football in 7th grade. I didn't play any organized sports growing up. But you did.
I did.
I'll let you talk about those first, and then we can go through the years.
I grew up the first sport was probably soccer. That's kind of the thing. Kindergartners and preschool, they give them a soccer ball and they run around.
I will tell a quick story. I was supposed to play soccer as a 2nd or 3rd grade, that kind of age. Me and my older brother were doing an organized soccer thing, and we go to the first day of practice. We got our brand new shin guards, brand new soccer balls and stuff like that. We were so excited.
New stuff.
And then we were waiting around, and we didn't know what was going on because we were kids and we were just doing what our parents told us to. But we kind of just waited in the car for a while, and then they're like, "Yeah, we're not going to be able to play this year." What? This is the first day of practice. Yeah, your coach got in a car wreck.
And I do remember that story.
Yeah, so we never got
to
play, and I don't know if she was okay. I have no idea, but if she had to cancel,
I mean, what do you do about that situation?
Everything because she got in a car wreck.
That'll throw a monkey wrench into the situation.
Yes. And so that was as much experience that I had.
That's
with
really
soccer.
unfortunate. Wow, that's so unfortunate. Yeah, I started out in the Sunflower League, which from Kansas. It's the room over. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but we're in a music practice room, and so we're surrounded by people, playing piano and a big piano actually.
Yeah.
But so you might be able to hear that in the background. It'll be good background music. But yeah, Sunflower Soccer, 2001. It's good. It's good for setting the mood. I like it. So I started out playing for a kindergarten league, and it was one of those where we all just had these, colored uniforms, and we all just ran around hitting a ball, and we had no clue what we were doing. But it's basically just to get people,
active and that kind of stuff,
and learn the game, learn the rules. And so, and that was fun, and it wasn't, very high stakes. But when it got high stakes was 2nd grade. I started playing tackle football. Because that's what my dad wanted me to play. I don't know if you're listening to this, Dad, but we've had this conversation before. I hated football, and I know you're very much aware of the fact that I hated football.
See, growing up, that's what I could not wait. I was like, football is going to be my thing. Zach and I were the high school that we were going to be going to at the time was terrible at football, And we were under the mindset, like, we were positive that we were going to turn their football
be the
program
stars.
around.
Yeah.
We were going to bring the football
be a
program to a
star.
new age and all this kind of stuff.
Gonna
Like,
be a
football
star.
was the sport where I grew up, and that's me and my brother used to always play together and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And
I wish I had that kind of drive for football, but I started off so young. I mean, first of all, second grade's pretty young to start playing tackle football. Like we were still.
my nephew actually, he's around that age, maybe a little bit younger, but he's been playing tackle football for a couple.
I know
years.
they do it. Yeah, like I guess it's the norm. Like I guess that's the time.
I don't think it's the norm, but
I think you can. It's acceptable to start, but yeah. So I started with that, and I was like a lineman, and I just hated every second of it because first of all, I wanted to be the running back, and the quarterback was the coach's son, so nobody else was going to be the quarterback. Or I want to be a wide receiver. I want to be anything but a lineman. And you know what happened? They put me in a lineman. And I'm a stick figure, and I was back then too. Like I'm not built to be a lineman.
Were you offensive or defensive?
I was offensive
That's even worse.
I was offensive for the first half, and then I was defensive for the other half. I mean, we were pretty loose with the positions because really what the thing was is for the people who didn't know how to play football and were bad at it, they put them on the line because
makes sense.
Why not? Yeah. Hey. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, we are literally in a practice room, so there's going to be people knocking and. Hello. We only will be here for like an hour, and then we were planning on making some music, but that's so awkward.
We can get this, right?
We can. I mean, I don't want to, but. So we are back in my dorm room now because we were kicked out of the practice room. Yeah. Well, at least we got some.
It was heavily implied that we should leave.
Yes, it was heavily implied that we should leave. We had one of the professors knock on the door. Well, we had a student knock on the door, and she said, "Oh, sorry." And then you can probably hear it inside the recording from before. And then the professor walked in and asked, "Are you guys practicing music?" And we were like, "Well." We're going to.
Yeah, we had our guitars and stuff.
Yeah, we had our guitars. We were going to practice music, but we figured we'd record the podcast first and then, practice some music. But we felt so pressured, so we stopped the recording. We practiced some music for a while, and now we're back in my dorm room.
Yep.
So we're going to continue like nothing happened. We're going to pretend that we weren't.
We are professionals.
Yep.
I'm going to say that in every episode.
Apparently, yeah, we are professionals.
That'd be good.
We're not at anything.
Podcast
I don't get paid to do anything, dude.
You get paid to sit in a chair and listen to music, right?
Well, okay. I hope my boss doesn't hear this. I hope my boss never listens.
Yeah, she's going to listen to this.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Anyway, we were talking about football, or at least I was talking about my football experience.
Your football experience
as
an offensive lineman.
Yep, offensive
If you don't
lineman.
know, he's now at 6'1", 110 pounds?
No, 110 pounds? 160 pounds.
Very skinny.
I'm thin,
Not an offensive lineman build.
I'm not built like a lineman at all. So I don't know why they thought, well, I know why they thought that was the best position for me, because that's where they put everyone who could do anything else. So
makes sense.
That was my experience with football. Actually, I quit in second grade. I played for most of the season, and then I played for most of the season, and then I quit near the end, or I made it through the season, but I said I didn't want to do it anymore, something like that. But then I went back in fourth grade because I wanted to make my father proud. I wanted to give it another shot.
How'd that work out for you?
It didn't work out at all. I ended up quitting that before the season really even started. Football was not my game at all. I was not a huge fan. I was definitely more of a soccer kid. I loved playing soccer. I would play soccer now if I had a team somewhere. And then basketball. I just like playing basketball.
You were like a state champion in soccer or something, right?
Well, no, we won the Governor's Cup, which is...
That sounds impressive.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means, but...
Well, the funny thing is the governor's son, the governor of Kansas, I won't say his name, but I'm sure you could figure it out.
Well, he's not the governor anymore.
He's not anymore. He was the governor of Kansas. But his son was on my soccer team, and I knew him from school a little bit too. Won. Yeah, we had an in. Yeah. But we actually, the first year we played, we got our butts whooped and did not win the cup. The second year we played, we kicked some butt and won the trophy, and it was pretty cool because we got to like take a picture with the governor, like because he was there supporting his son at the game. Yeah. So we like took a picture with him with the governor's cup. It was sort of appropriate. It was pretty fun.
I met the governor once. He when I was working at Lifeway, he came to Lifeway.
Did he really?
I had no idea who he was. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's the governor. They said his name, but you good?
There's rust on this microphone.
There is, yes. That's how I got it.
I just noticed that. I looked down and saw something. I'm like, is that chocolate on the microphone?
There's some on this one, too.
It's a little rusty.
They were free.
They're old. They're free microphones gifted to us. So
yes.
It's very nice.
Yeah, so the governor came to Lifeway, and everyone was freaking out, and most of the people there loved him. There was one person there who hated him.
Some people feel very strongly about that guy.
I didn't have...
I didn't know enough. I was like,
okay.
Really. I was friends with his son, so
yeah. I was like, hey, yeah, I know your daughter, and I couldn't remember her name. And I felt
you
so
couldn't remember?
Embarrassed. I was like, yeah, I'm friends with your daughter. It's like, oh, really? It's like, yeah, her. Yeah, I couldn't remember her name, and that was
we're really close friends.
Absolutely embarrassing.
I
wasn't even like close friends. Like we talked a little bit every now and then, but not often or anything.
Yeah,
but
I was friends with her too. I say friends with her. But,
yeah.
You know, I had classes with her. You know, and I would talk with her. You know, sometimes during class. Like,
yeah, she was nice.
She was really nice. Yeah, and so was his son. I
didn't know him as well. I think I had one class with him, but yeah, he seemed. I know you were pretty.
Yeah, we played on the soccer team. He was quiet and like he was a little unpredictable. You didn't know like if he was gonna like say. Like throw down the meanest roast that you've ever heard, or if he was just going to be really quiet and not say anything.
Yeah.
So it was hard to tell. But what sports did you play? You had football, right?
Yeah. So in 7th grade, I was able to like play my first sport for for school, and so I wanted to do football, and that's like I said, that's what I grew up just wanting to play, and this is the greatest thing ever. Like I was so excited to play, and my team. I went to Landon Middle School. This wasn't when I was at Washburn. We hadn't won a game. Either 7th or 8th grade had not won a football game in 8 years.
Wow.
So we were...
Bit of a dry spell, huh?
Great. Yeah, we were awesome. God, this was... ended up being a horrible experience. But I'm a pretty short and small guy. Like, back then I was, like, even skinnier than I am now, which I'm not... whatever.
You're looking good, man. Come on.
I've looked better. But, I'm really short. I'm 5'7". I was even shorter back then. Believe it or not. In 7th grade, I was shorter. Yeah.
What?
It's crazy.
How that works? You get taller as life goes on?
Not me. But, and so, being football and being short, playing football.
Being football, being
short.
just
getting kicked out.
See, they used Ryan as the football.
That's what happened.
The story's
I
going.
was the football.
He's a little choked up because it was a damaging experience for him. The other kids used to throw him around.
So I was on the 7th grade team. My brother was on the 8th grade team, and he was like a normal sized guy. I just got unlucky with the genes, but he's bigger
jeans.
guy than me. Yeah,
Levi's.
Anyway,
not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. But so we played, and the first 2 or 3 games, I think I actually got the starting wide receiver position, which
awesome.
I was like ecstatic with. That was like my dream position was receiver. And so I went to the mindset like that's what I want, and I think I got it because the coaches could tell that I was working harder than anyone else. Not necessarily that I was better than anyone else, but I was working harder.
Hard work, yeah.
Yeah, and they pointed out a couple times and stuff
People
like that.
keep telling me that'll get you places.
Yeah.
Hard work.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
But after I think it was the 3rd game, they had thrown one pass to me in all the 3 games.
All right. Did you catch it?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, it was one of the plays. I take one step and turn around, and he's supposed to throw it to me. It was a terrible throw. It was like
right at your knees,
right at my feet, and so like I fell to the ground and tried to catch it, and even if I caught it, it wouldn't have been any yards gained. So I have no idea if I caught it or not. I didn't. It wouldn't have mattered anyway.
There was no instant replay.
There was not in 7th grade Landon football.
Oh, what? Man, they got to upgrade.
But we did win our first game. The first game we played
8 years, are
you
serious?
First game in 8 years. The first game we played, we won.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So we were the first 7th or 8th grade team to win, and that was all because of our quarterback. He had been playing his whole life and stuff like that.
So he was pretty talented.
Yeah. But yeah, then the second game, I think it was, they threw a pass to me. No, it was the third game because the first practice after that game, the coach is talking to the whole team, and he's like, "All right, now we need someone who's tall enough to play receiver." And so that's how I found out that I'm not going to be receiver anymore.
Come on.
So I ended up being the fifth quarter safety.
Fifth quarter safety?
Fifth quarter safety, yep.
What?
They had a fifth quarter for all the kids who couldn't play during the regular game because they weren't good enough. And so I played safety. I played middle linebacker on the fifth grade.
Middle linebacker?
On the fifth quarter, yep.
Wow.
Because I'm middle linebacker. Yeah, that's what you think of when you...
Killer.
No. I should have...
It's so condescending. Fifth quarter.
It was horrible. It was terrible.
I mean, that's almost worse than just not having the kids play.
Exactly. But there was a rule that every kid has to play.
Everybody
and so that's
has
how
to
they
play.
got around that rule. Is they had a fifth quarter that didn't matter. Like they didn't keep score of points or anything like that. There's no kickoff. You just got the ball at the 20 and they let you play.
Oh, that's so stupid.
It was horrible.
Gosh.
But yeah, so played that and God, I just hated the rest of the year. I played wide receiver every now and then, but never had any passes thrown to me. I did have a chance to be running back that I didn't take, and I kind of regret it to this day because I was a pretty quick kid and still am. That's my main thing in sports is I'm really quick.
That's how you beat me in basketball.
Yeah,
faster than me, and you make your shots, but
every now and then. But our coach got super pissed at our running back. He's like, "All right, I need someone who knows the plays and can go in here and do the plays right." It's like I know all the plays. They're easy.
I know everything.
They're made to be so easy. We're
right.
seventh graders.
It's middle school, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I didn't speak up, and I think I could have been a decent running back.
I bet you would. Yeah, I bet you would have been.
But I didn't do that. I did have one shining moment though. Then all of my football career because I didn't play after this year. I did not play after this year.
Career.
But we were doing a scrimmage with the eighth graders.
Oh boy!
The bigger kids. They've been playing longer. And they had me playing safety for some reason, just trying to test me out. Mm-hmm. And I got an interception. What happened is I was playing safety, running back, and he threw the ball. I didn't see it. It bounced off my helmet, went straight up in the air. I looked up and caught it, and I started running back, going for a touchdown, and they stopped the play. I was like, come on. He's like, yeah, because it was just a scrimmage. They didn't want anyone to get hurt or anything.
Well,
I was like, oh, come on. I could have
been a contender.
But and then my brother was a defensive end because he was bigger and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He was a pretty decent defensive end too. And we were doing these drills where you just get two guys and just have them go up and block each other, try to push each other back.
Yeah, I remember those.
And
hated those.
Zach was doing it. He was killing it. Oh, Ryan, you should go against him. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Yeah, do it. And so I had to go against my brother, who is so much bigger than I am. And he's a year older. He's just a lot bigger in general. And I was like, oh,
and in middle school, that's a big difference. That year can make a big difference.
And so I went up against. I'm this tiny, scrawny kid. He's not fat. He's really athletic and stuff like that. And he's tall and all this kind of stuff. And he destroyed me. I was like, dude, I have to try. I have to try. There's a small chance, but there's a chance. And no, he took away any chance I had right away. Destroyed me. Which he should have. That was the point of the drill.
Expected, I guess, but still unfortunate.
But just the fact that my coach got up at practice we need someone who's tall enough to play receiver. I hated that guy. I still do. I still think about him sometimes.
Whenever he comes to mind sometimes, and I rage for a little bit.
Yeah, but I never played football again, and that was
really
the only thing I ever wanted to do was to get at school and play football, and that
sucks, man.
He ruined it.
You shouldn't have done that.
But I did pick up tennis that same year.
Yeah,
seventh grade. My dad played tennis in high school, and that's kind of how Zach also played tennis.
Yeah, Zach did too. That. Did you ever try out for the basketball team?
I did too. The next year. Tennis, I played seventh grade.
Yeah.
Didn't make the team. I was
really
pissed about that because Zach made it because there were.
This was still at Landon, right?
No, this was at Washburn. Yeah, halfway through seventh grade, I moved at Washburn. I think there's something like 8. I think it was 8 varsity and 8 junior varsity positions for each grade. No, for both grades.
Okay.
And so there was no 7th and 8th grade tennis. It was all
It was all together.
Washburn.
Okay, I didn't know they did cuts actually in middle school.
Mm-hmm. In high school, they didn't.
That's ironic.
But I did not make the team 7th grade, and I was pissed because Zach was on varsity, and I could beat Zach.
Oh, really?
I could. Yep.
Ooh.
And I did not make the team. I was very angry, and so I played intramurals, and I was it was intramural middle school tennis, so these weren't the shining stars, but I was head and shoulders above everyone there, and it just crushed my soul. But the next year, dude. I came back and I was top JV, so not anything amazing, but
But you're on the team. So.
Yeah, next year I made the team top on JV, which is nice. But yeah, 8th grade year I did go for the basketball team.
I did too. Well, I went out my 7th grade year, and then my 8th grade year. I want to say I showed up for one day, and then I was like, whatever, I don't want to do this, and I didn't show up for the rest of the tryout days because I was pretty frustrated because I was.
Do you want to kind of talk about how the tryouts how they did it? Because it was kind of. Well, I'd never been to a tryout, but I thought it was kind of weird.
It was kind of weird. I hadn't been to a tryout like that before. I mean, for most of my other teams, I didn't need to try out. It was a kids league, exactly. So it's everybody gets on if you pay the money. And, they had different challenges and stuff. You would do layups, and you'd have to make
right-handed layups.
You
do 5
left-handed layups. Yeah, and then you would keep track of how many you made. And then we did that with free throws as well. Mm-hmm. And then we did I think it was 3-point shooting. I'm pretty sure that was one of. I think we had to do that as well.
I don't remember that, but
I remember doing that because I had to It was actually the 3-point game that we play where one person's underneath the basket. It was basically that, except the other person's just a rebounder. They don't literally put the ball back up. But then you went all the way around and kept track of how many you made. And then there was the scrimmages, and I was feeling really good going into the scrimmage because I got put on with the good kids.
The scrimmages. How there's at a high school gym. There's There's
multiple
main court,
balls.
but on the side there's the 2 or the 4.
Yeah, there's the smaller
side.
ones that are on the side.
They just had games going on the sides, scrimmages going.
And it was half. I believe it was half court.
Yeah, we did half court.
Yeah, I think it was. They were half court games.
But they definitely grouped the kids of these are good kids.
Because you've been through, I think it'd been a few days up to that point.
Yeah, I think that was the 3rd day. There was Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah,
I think is how
split
it was.
3 days. And most of the days we were just doing different challenges and exercises and trying to see what kind of shape you were in and what you could do. And then this one, and that's why I was feeling good going into this because they grouped me with kids who I knew were going to make the team. They were pretty much dead set. They were good basketball players. So I was I'm feeling good about this. I think I'm going to make it. And I had a slight advantage because I was taller too, And so I was like, oh my gosh. And then the scrimmage went terribly for me. I got a cut. I remember I got a cut on my arm and I didn't know I was bleeding. And I noticed there was blood on everybody. And I was like, what? What is happening? And then I finally looked down and my arm was just bleeding. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I got blood on everybody. Because, you're playing defense and stuff. Your arms are flying around. I got blood everywhere. And then I couldn't make anything. I've noticed when I'm playing basketball, I need to be having fun playing it. I need to just let myself enjoy it because if I get angry, if I get too upset or something, it distracts me from the game and I start hating it and I start playing like crap. That's kind of just a weakness I have. That's why trash talk, when people trash talk me, it messes with me and I try so hard for it not to, but I can't help but get so pissed that it messes up my whole game. And so I didn't make it. I did go into intramurals, and the coach there, he was super supportive. He's like, "You can make it. You're one of the kids on this intramural team who could actually make the team next year. You need to keep up with it." And then I ended up just hating it too much. I was like, this is a pain. And then a lot of the guys who actually made the basketball team, the thing that sucked is we would practice at the same time, but you remember that gym that was that extra gym, like Gym B or whatever? We would play over there, and then they had the actual court. And but we would be in the locker rooms at the same time, and those guys were jerks. That
was the thing. Our school was a pretty big school, and it was known as the white rich kid school.
Yeah.
And so everyone that was on the teams had been playing the sport their whole lives.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff.
Some people had advantages that others didn't.
Yes. And they were oftentimes not the nicest people.
Yeah. Some of them were nice that I knew, but these guys were not. And I remember, in locker rooms, they're tough places anyway for a lot of people. And I was never uncomfortable with myself, but I remember they would find, because I didn't make the team, right? So like I'm not a part of their group. They're gonna push me down, like they're gonna mess with me. So I remember they made some comment that just pissed me off, and I said something to them, and they looked at me, and I was like, okay, there's 3 of them. There's one of me. Probably shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah.
And they just like they didn't do anything, but they gave me a look or something. I was like, whatever, said something a little less kind than that, and then walked out. And it pissed me off so much. I was like, I do not want to be a part of this culture. I don't want to be on a team with those guys. I don't care. So I stopped after that. And I was like, I'm gonna play for fun because I don't want to deal with these with these people who treat other people like this. And and the environment, I mean, it is very much they're young middle schoolers and stuff, but the environment kind of lends itself to that uber competition of like you need to beat everybody, you need to be better than everybody else. If you're not the best, then you need to get better, and you suck. If you don't, and it's like no. The game it's a game. It's a basketball game. It has no importance outside.
7th grade basketball.
It's 7th grade. It is not that important. And that's a big problem with a lot of organized sports. I mean, even, with young kids.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But
it just gets out of hand.
Yeah, so you got farther than I did. I was put on the, court with all the people that I was like, okay, I don't have a chance. Like, when I saw the people I was paired with.
Ironically, you probably played better than I did.
No, I didn't, because, back then, I was too scared to shoot the ball, like, in a game with, like, teammates and stuff, because I was like, every time I missed, I felt like, my teammates hate me for taking this stupid shot.
You start feeling conscious about it.
Honestly, I wasn't a bad player. Like, I had pretty decent handles back then, and then I had a decent shot.
Decent handles.
Yeah. I remember 7th grade, when I first moved there, I was still, like, the new kid and stuff like that, and I had gym with one of like the big basketball guys. He was known for basketball, and we were playing a knockout in PE class, and that knockout was like my game.
Yeah, you were good at knockout. You still are good at knockout.
The short, scrawny white kid, the new kid and stuff like that, and it's me in the final round, like with the big basketball guy, and I beat him. And he was so pissed at me. It made me feel so good about myself.
It made me feel so great.
I was honestly a pretty decent player, but I had never played organized basketball before. And I just didn't I didn't know pick and rolls, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the plays and that's the stuff.
I was just not being confident enough to shoot and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It just takes time. I feel like I've learned over time that now when I play basketball, I feel much more confident about things in general. I'm like, I know I can make shots. I know I can do plays and stuff. And I just try to remind myself to enjoy it because it's a game and it's for fun. But
that was the only year I went out for basketball. I almost went out 9th grade, 9th or 10th grade. I think it was 9th grade. But I just one of the conditioning days, and I was the worst I've ever felt after a workout in my life. It was like, there's no way I can go and do this tomorrow. And if you missed more than 3, you had to do some special thing to get on the it was ridiculous.
Yeah, but kind of on a similar note, but I played soccer, and I was gonna play soccer for the high school team. And I went to all the kick-arounds during the summer, which is just these events. You're not allowed to have practices over the summer. That's a thing. But if the students get together on their own and practice amongst themselves, and the coach happens to show up, then it's fine. So it's kind of sketchy. But we had an entire summer of that. Jared, if you remember Jared, he was a guy on the bus too from one of our. Go back to Captain Flannel episode 1 to hear about that. But he was also going out for the team, so we would go together, and this was before we had cars and stuff, and it was a pain. And I spent most of my summer doing those kick-arounds and stuff, and then I missed a conditioning day because we had a vacation or something, and the soccer conditioning was brutal.
Our soccer team was one of the top in the nation. We were top 10.
That's one thing. That's one sport our school really excelled at was soccer.
That and volleyball.
And volleyball, and honestly golf too. all the club sports that all the rich white people.
So our soccer team was good, but our practices were known for being horrible. People would puke all the time, and it was
an expected thing. Someone's gonna vomit and whatever. You just get up and move. That was the mindset. Was if you vomit, you keep going. You leave it, and I'm like, wait, hold on. If you're throwing up, something's wrong. That's not supposed to happen.
But those are pretty brutal. So Yeah.
Oh, God. And so I missed that conditioning day, and like I knew what it was going to take, like the conditioning, and I knew I was not in shape. And honestly, I do kind of regret not at least trying, like my freshman year or something, like giving it a shot, because I think I might have liked it, and I wasn't bad. I was honestly, soccer was one of my stronger sports. Like I was pretty good at that. And I kind of regret not trying out, but I just decided something was telling me that this wasn't the path for me. So I was like, well, I guess I won't do it. So I didn't. But I did play in an independent team, like a team that it wasn't with a school or anything, but we went to some tournaments. I did that for like another year.
Okay.
And I liked that. I mean, that was fun, and I had some friends on there. But then after that, I was like, all right, I guess I'm done.
Yeah. But I did play. You played golf. You did play golf your freshman
year.
year.
I did.
Talk about that.
That's the one. I think it's the one school sport that I played, but in high school. In middle school, I did like cross country, and try for basketball or whatever. But the golf team, and I had to fight to get on that golf team. I loved playing golf. I still really enjoy it. Like if I'm just playing it for fun. I grew up going to my grandpa's golf course, and golfing with my dad, and then I just started going on my own. Like I would go to these camps over the summer where I would, and I got trained. Like there were like, my dad paid for lessons for me from like professionals, and I really enjoyed it. Like I always loved playing golf, and it was so much fun. And my freshman year, I decided I'm gonna try out for the golf team, and I made it. But I had to go into a playoff between 3 other students. There were 4 of us in total, and we were all tied. Like it came down to us 4.
One of you guys was going to make the team.
Yeah,
Other
the
3
coach said, we're going to play 9 holes. Whoever has the lowest score after 9 holes makes the team. And I was like, crap. So we went out there and we played, and I made it. I got the lowest score. And honestly, I did not play very well. But everybody else was so panicked and freaked out that they played way worse than I did. So I made the team. And that golf team, I have to say, was one of the worst experiences of my life. And not because the golf. Like, when I first started, like, the first practice, I was playing really well. I was loving it, I kind of had a friend or someone I knew who was on the team, and I was like, this is cool. But as soon as the older guys came around, I got freaked out and panicked, and these guys were not the nicest guys in the world. They were very much conditional people. So, like, first of all, almost everyone on the team was very wealthy, and they had memberships to Topeka Country Club, which is like, that's the nicest golf course in Topeka.
Yeah.
And that's where they went to practice. Like, that's where people went. And I did not have a membership there. I literally couldn't practice there because I don't have a membership. So it was me and like one other person on the team who didn't have a membership. So we would practice together. And very slowly, he started shifting away from me too, because it was all conditional on whether or not you brought something to the group, whether or not you were a great scorer, like if you played super well all the time. And I didn't. It was my first year, and I wasn't bad.
Yeah,
like
but you're a freshman.
I was a freshman, and I did end up like, I really don't think I was the worst on the team, but my scores ended up being the worst because of all the crap. And we had these mandatory parties we had to go to. What's up, Lucas? My roommate just walked in. We had these mandatory parties we had to go to, and they were the worst things in the world. Like, I don't know why we had to show up, but our coach made it clear. He's like, you need to come to these parties. I guess he thought they were like team building, events or whatever. And I didn't have a car, and there was a rule that other students couldn't drive other students to the parties, which is the stupidest rule ever. And I was like, I don't have a way to get to the parties. And like I had to call family members, like my Uncle Mike. I had to call up anybody who could possibly give me a ride to get there. It was a pain in the butt. I would show up, and nobody would talk to me. Like, all the guys, because they didn't know who I was. They knew that I wasn't an amazing golfer. I wasn't like the top one on the team. And that was so messed up, because I was like, seriously, guys, I'm not like a bad guy. I'm not a weirdo. I'm not like, talk to, okay, well, maybe I am. But, I'm weird. I accept that. But I was like, seriously, this is really stupid and conditional, and you're treating me awfully. Like, this is terrible. Like, why do you do this? So it was a bad culture on the team, and like, they really ruined my experience. It sucked.
My tennis experience was the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I played for 3 out of my 4 years. I didn't play my junior year because I couldn't get time off work. I really wish I would have, but yeah. Anyway, so I played freshman, sophomore, and senior year. Everyone on the team was super nice to everyone else.
Yeah, I hear
varsity.
the tennis team was
there were
was very nice.
6 or 8 varsity members, and they practice separately and stuff like that. But then there's like 20 to 30 JV.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone on JV was just super awesome to get. It was really, really awesome, like team experience and everything like that. You should have played.
I know.
I tried to get him to play senior year.
I was so jaded from my experience from before, and I don't mean to butt in, but there was one guy on the team who was very nice. His name was Andrew. I won't say his last name.
Andrew. I had PE with him a couple years.
Yeah.
He was
he's
nicest
an amazing golfer. For all I know, he might be playing on the pro tour.
Super humble too. Like
Yeah,
I would ask him
humble.
about his golf. He's like, yeah, he looked pretty well.
He was the only guy who showed me some kindness on the team, and because the problem was like, of course, like the first day, everyone was nice enough because they didn't know who I was. But as soon as they knew that I wasn't going to be a great golfer, or I wasn't at the time, and I didn't have a lot of money, and I didn't have the stuff to be a part of their group, they just kicked me out. They're like, we don't want you. Like that's it. And so, but Andrew was different. And
Andrew was an awesome guy.
He was very nice. And I remember he would ask me, he's like, so who do you think the hottest girl in your grade is? And like just stupid conversation. But it was like I could actually answer, and we have a good conversation. And
Chloe?
Can I say
Chloe?
I said Lakin back then. But
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they ever listen to this, it's going to be really embarrassing.
Yeah, because they probably don't remember who we are.
Yeah, they have no idea who we are. Which, speaking of which, when I went to... So the next year when I was a sophomore, and I dated that one girl, do you remember? And
How could I forget?
Yeah. But she was friends with a guy on the golf team. And she was a senior. I know. I was a sophomore dating a senior. But it's not all it's cracked up to be, let me tell you. But anyway... It was an awkward time. That's a story that I can tell for a different time. But I was hanging out at their lockers and stuff, and she was like, "Hey, this is so and so," and she was introducing me, and he's like, "Oh, I remember you," and I was like, "Yeah, we were on the golf team together." Like in my head, I'm like, "You should. I've been to your house. Like, come on." Of course, you probably didn't pay attention to me, but but he's like, "Yeah, you won the most improved award last year." That wasn't me. That was another freshman.
Did you take credit for it?
No, I told him. I was like,
that was me.
You know what? That wasn't me. And I just looked at him. He's like, "Oh." I was like, "Yeah." And then he walked away, and I was like, "This sucks."
Should have taken credit for it, man. Like yeah,
I should have. Well,
no, you probably
I didn't want to because
yeah.
First of all, it was more the fact that he literally didn't remember me enough to even realize that he was thinking of somebody else entirely. And this wasn't one of those things like, "Oh, I met you once at a party or something," or like, and I kind of know who you are. This was like, we had practices every day for like, a few months. Like, and I was there for all of them. We went to like meets together. I've been to his house. Like, we had like, that's where the parties were at. We're like at these people's houses. So it was all sorts of ridiculous. And then, it comes back around though. Like, I tried to be as positive as I could about it. And I tried to learn from it and realize, like, well, maybe I need to look at other things. And it was for the best after a while. But
yeah, but tennis was great. I was always at the top of JV. I was the quickest guy on the team, which was my biggest advantage. I wasn't
good.
I'd never taken like private lessons or anything like that.
Who needs
I was
them?
decent at like the tennis, but I was quick enough that I could get to more balls than anyone else and stuff like that. So yeah,
balls?
the tennis balls, Caleb. Oh, jeez.
This brand of humor is like from 12 years ago.
But and so that was my biggest advantage. And I remember my sophomore year, I was playing at one of the tournaments. I had to play someone from our own school. He was known as the best guy on
Is that
JV.
who I'm thinking of? Is
Probably not.
Nathan?
No.
Oh.
No,
was it?
no, Nathan was varsity.
Oh,
I never.
Okay, I was gonna say
I would not score a
remember
single
him being-
point against Nathan.
Yeah, right.
But his name was Dakota, I believe. But he was known as the best guy on JV.
Known as the best.
And he was a junior. I was a sophomore. And I remember we were playing at a meet. It was a tournament style, and so we ended up having to play each other, even though we were from the same school.
Yeah, because it was just individual.
Yeah, and I remember I beat him And
dang! Did you win?
So pissed. No.
Oh,
I did
okay.
not. No, I didn't win any medals until my senior year.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, I beat him, and he was so pissed off because he was the guy, on JV
like
and stuff,
best.
and I was just some sophomore who was decent.
But hey, he lost. I mean, that's the way cookie crumbles.
And then I didn't play my junior year, and then my senior year, I wasn't even considered for varsity just because I hadn't played the year before, and
right?
So they weren't expecting anything from me. Okay, I understand. After my first meet, I took second in the whole tournament.
You too, Lucas. He set it out for Easter, so that was we were just saying bye to my roommate. All right,
but so my senior year, the first tournament of the year, there were 3 or 4 a year big tournaments where they get a bunch of schools together and stuff like that. I was placed in the number one or the top bracket for singles. And I got second place. I lost my very last match. Wasn't super close, but that was the last match I would lose until the last match of my high school career.
Yeah.
After that, I'll tell the whole story. But I got second in the tournament, and then my coaches noticed, like, oh wow, he did way better than we expected. I was ranked I was like the 8th seed out of like 10 or something like that.
8th seed.
And I ended up getting second, which proved them wrong.
Screw them.
But so they kind of noticed, and so we played all the JV meets that we played. I may have lost 3 games, like not even a match, like 3 games. Like they weren't anything hard. It just JV in tennis in high school usually isn't anything special.
Right.
Our JV team's pretty good because we're a rich white school.
Yeah. Tennis team. Yeah. I mean, tennis team was pretty good, right? In general.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah, we're pretty good. But and so they actually invited me to 4 varsity meets. I played my first 2. I played, I think, 3 or 4 doubles and 2 singles, I think, and I won all my varsity matches, which was awesome. So I'm undefeated in varsity, which is really cool. Then I was supposed to go to, I think it was Manhattan for a varsity meet. It was going to be my first away varsity meet, so I was really excited about that. Get to travel with the team and stuff, and everything I'm about to tell you, I don't remember. This is all been told to me.
I've heard it all from secondary sources.
Me too. So,
which is so freaking funny.
Apparently, what happened is we were in PE class. I had it second hour, had math first hour, which was
good old PE class, man.
Yeah,
but that's one thing I miss. I wish they had PE class in college.
PE, I was always the kid who would give everything, go all out, that kind of thing. I loved PE class, and we were playing soccer. It was a version of soccer. I am a tryhard.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Embrace it.
But it was a version of soccer where it's like a normal goal is 1 point. If you kick it out of the air, it's 2 points.
Yeah.
If you headbutt it, it's 5 or something like that.
It rewarded you using other things than just your feet.
Yeah. And if you get a bicycle kick, it was worth 10 points.
Yeah.
And I was pretty close with the PE coach, and he was like, "Yeah, no one's ever done it before." But I was like, I want to be the first one to do it,
Yep.
And so apparently, like I said, I don't remember anything from this day until hours later.
I remember this.
Apparently, I went for a bicycle kick and hit my head on the ground so hard I got a major concussion.
Yep. And knocked out for a little bit. You didn't get back up, dude.
Apparently not. Apparently people were like laughing, and then they stopped laughing because they realized I was like not getting up. Like, right? And like I said, all I remember from this day is I remember being picked up from school because my girlfriend at the time picked me up.
You didn't remember that she was your
I'll
girlfriend?
talk about that. And then I remember waking up in the hospital, being asked who the president was. And I said Obama, and then I remember my dad was like, "I'll give you $10 if you say Trump." I think it was when Trump was still running.
Yeah, he was like a candidate.
Yeah, he was a candidate.
It was a ways off.
Yeah, it was still early on. He's like, "I'll give you $10 if you say Trump." And so every time, apparently they asked me like this 5 times. I only remember once, but apparently every time I said Obama, I just start cracking up.
My Lord! This was during the time when I was driving. We would carpool together to school.
Yeah,
and I got a text from.
Well, Michaela was driving me there most.
Oh,
days,
you might.
You were driving me
that's
home,
true. But I would drive you
early.
home. Yeah, and so because we would get off early. You're right. And then I got a text from Ryan's mom that said, "Hey, you won't have to give Ryan a ride home today. He's at the hospital right now." And I was like, "What?" And I think I called her or I sent her a text. I'm like, what? How is he okay? And she's like, yeah, he's okay. He has a concussion. Something happened, and then I think she only knew like the basics, but I heard the rest of it from somebody else who was in the class. It was one of my sister's close friends, and she told us the whole thing. It was so freaking.
So this was supposed to be my big day, my first away varsity meet, and I was taken out of tennis for.
I didn't know what you were talking about for a second. I was like, wait, did you just did it happen again?
No, what?
Just skip.
No, this was supposed to be like my,
I thought you were changing stories for a second. I was like, wait, what?
No, the day that I got my concussion.
You weren't kidding about not remembering any of it.
Supposed to be like an awesome day and being horrible. But I had, speaking of forgetting that I was dating the girl. So me and another girl had broken up a few months before, but I couldn't remember how we broken up. I was like, I'm pretty sure we're not still together. I just have no idea how it happened.
Remember how?
And honestly, I still don't quite remember
what?
How.
You still don't remember?
I think
how
it was over
happened?
text, but I don't remember the
I think it was over
specifics and
text.
stuff. I don't know. She broke up with
really
me,
sad.
whatever. But the jacket I was wearing smelled like my current girlfriend at the time because she wore the jacket all the time.
Oh yeah.
So I was wearing. I was like, it smells like her. Are we? Like I couldn't remember
together
breaking up with the previous girl, so I didn't remember getting together with the girl I was with at the time. I was like, I am so confused right now.
I am so confused.
Yeah, I told her that, and she gave me crap for that.
Didn't let
forever.
that one go for a really long time.
But I remember going in for I think it was MRI or a CAT scan. I don't know what the difference is. One of the two.
Magnetic resonance imaging versus whatever CAT stands for.
Yeah,
I don't know what CAT stands for.
I remember going in for one of those. Then I remember getting into the car to leave the hospital. I remember getting home and being told that I can't use my phone for a couple days.
Yeah, you had
and
to
I had to stay in my room in the dark.
Couldn't play video games for a while either.
Yeah, I mean a couple days. Like I couldn't use screens
I
because
remember
it messed with my eyes and stuff.
We would play I think we were playing Call of Duty or something.
Probably.
And then it kind of sucked because for 2 days you couldn't play, and I was like, oh crap, because I was like, oh, I should text Ryan, crap.
Yeah, but I didn't have my phone and everything like that, and I missed. I think it was on a Thursday, so I missed Thursday, Friday, and I had the weekend. I came back Monday, so I didn't miss a ton of school. But God, I had to sit out, and then the physical therapist, the
physical trainer,
yeah, he had to clear me, but he was gone for the first week,
and
so I couldn't.
You couldn't go back
start
into
doing
PE,
the stuff, and then the day I got cleared was the day of Varsity City. And I was supposed to go to that. I was invited to go, but they wouldn't let me because Coach, he didn't get it till the morning of, and he didn't check his email that morning. It's I don't have your thing. I'm just, don't show up. And he got it. He ended up getting it that morning, and I was just crushed because I knew because he told me afterwards he probably could have made it to state. I'm not going to win anything in state. I did not have a chance, but he was he probably could have made it because just the people that were there weren't great.
Yeah. Dang.
But I did go to JV City, which was, maybe a week later.
Yeah. I think I remember that.
And then again, I took seconds there. But yeah, those were the two matches I lost were two the championship matches. So I got second twice, and I did win one tournament.
Nice.
But
yeah,
my very last points of my whole high school tennis career, I double faulted to lose.
Did you really?
Yep.
Oh, that.
And I was
so
angry at myself. I was like, this is the last point I'm ever going to play in high school. My tennis career, and I double faulted.
Oh, that sucks.
That
hardcore sucks.
Oh, he was horrible. Dude, I knew I wasn't going to win that match. The guy was just so much better than me. But to go out on a double fault was
brutal,
rough.
Gosh, man. I just remember. I remember my sister's friend was. They were hanging out together, and so they were at the house, and she said she was there. She saw it happen, the concussion.
Yeah.
And we're like, you have to tell us what happened. And she said that they were playing the game and stuff, and she said she saw you go for the bike kick, jump up, and just land on your head.
I didn't score the goal, by the way.
Nope, you missed the ball completely, I think.
Probably.
I think if I remember correctly, I think she said you whiffed it. But you know what?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Unimportant.
Yeah, thanks for throwing that
Maybe
in.
it happened, maybe it didn't. Who knows? And she said you hit, and you just crumpled and didn't get up. And she said everyone kind of was laughing at you, they just thought maybe he's a little hurt, but he's okay. He fell down, funny. But you didn't get back up, and so they're like, and they ran over, and then they got the teacher and stuff, and they said that you did get up, like you were awake, but this is the part that you don't remember at all. And you ran around for a little bit, like you were like they just got you.
Fine.
Yeah, they just got you up. They got you up, and then you started playing the game for a little bit. Like everything was okay, and then the teacher, the PE teacher, noticed something was wrong because you were not responding well to anything that was happening around you. And
I've never heard this.
He finally walked you over and like took you to the nurse's office or whatever. They knew that you had a concussion and they wanted to get you checked out, so they like called your mom. You guys went to the hospital, and that's how it happened. But you don't remember any of that.
It was bad enough that after they asked me like who the president was, they asked me if I knew the day of the week or anything like that. I had no idea what month of the year it was. Like I was sitting there like I don't know, dude. It was terrifying.
Was it like? Is it that feeling? Do you ever wake up like when you wake up and you don't know where you're at for like a second? You know, like it takes you a second to realize for everything to come back to you.
Except it took more than a second.
Except it took way much longer than a second.
And a lot of it hasn't come back to me. But
yeah, that I can't even. And you just straight up don't remember that stuff. Like even to this day, it's like
nothing.
It's just gone.
Like I remember getting picked up for school, and then waking up in the hospital.
That is
and a couple hours happened before and after. I mean, it was.
Yeah, it was a long time. Like, cause I mean, you like when you got up, Izzy said that you were running around for a while. Like it wasn't an immediate thing. Like you were part of the class, and that part of the day you just don't remember. And then like the nurse's office, your mom picking you up, like all that. It's just gone. It's
I was like, I thought I was taken in an ambulance. I was like, I've never been in an ambulance before. That's kind of cool.
I don't think you were in an ambulance.
I don't think so now.
I don't think so.
But
you'd have to ask your mom, but I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure I got picked up.
Yeah, I think so
my
too.
Parents. But
that's
so that was high school. We've done some stuff here and there. Oh, we did intramural. We can talk about intramural real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do. I think let's we can talk about intramurals and then we'll call
so we did intramurals. I believe it was sophomore year.
Yeah, sophomore year because that was before all the fights broke out and they freaking ranked up the prices for.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Freaking stupid upperclassmen. Some of them who were on the golf team, by the way, freaking ruined intramural basketball for everybody.
Yeah, but so I was on a team with a couple friends. It was supposed to be just a fun thing. Put a couple people I knew like from church and stuff like that. We're putting a team together, and like I said,
this was through the high school too.
Yeah, high school, and this was intramurals. Like you get a team together, and there's like a tournament.
Yeah,
You
was it
you play everyone,
or was it like or wins because
there
was a certain amount of games that you were guaranteed to play.
It wasn't like middle school intramural where you're learning the game.
Yeah,
it's like you get a group of people together and you just play. You know,
more of the
teams
traditional
play.
sense of intramural. Like in college intramural, like it was more reminiscent of that than anything else.
But a couple games in, we had one guy who had paid. He had a shirt and everything, but he just didn't show up to any games. And so, like, hey, Caleb, you want to
play?
Want to join?
I think
so
he
got in for free
because you'd played like a few,
maybe 3 games, like out of 6
games.
or 7.
Yeah, so I knew it had been going on for a little while.
Yeah, but we didn't win a single game.
Nope, we got close once or twice.
No, there's one game that we lost by I think like 10, and that was the closest game by far. We had one team try to put up 100 on us.
Yep,
and they had like 51 at half. And so we're like, okay, we're just going to hold the ball.
Yeah,
like,
we are not letting them.
We can't actually stop them from scoring, and so we're just going to hold the ball because there was no shot clock or anything like that because it was just running clock.
It was it was a lot of fun. I honestly had a really good time.
It was a blast, yeah.
But people they stomped all over us.
Yeah, because they were like really really good.
Yeah,
people
and like
playing
I think sophomore year, if I'm not mistaken, I think sophomore year was like the first year that you could have a team. Right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were the youngest, one of the youngest teams, and then it's amazing how big of a difference it can make between like sophomores in high school and seniors in high school.
And we weren't. I mean, we were just
playing for
there
fun.
for fun. We had like a couple guys on our team who were pretty good.
Yeah.
But most of us were just there for fun.
Yeah. And honestly, like I think if we would have played, like if we would have had that same team and tried again, we would have been like way better because I mean we were just it was new to us. I came in like halfway. We had some people who were actually pretty good, but it wasn't the team dynamics weren't really there. Like,
but we got crushed.
Oh yeah,
every game except the one where we lost by like 10.
Yeah,
and that was like as close as we got.
I've never, but you know what? I was proud to be on the team.
It was fun. Like that was like they weren't always jerks like the other guys. Some of them were like super nice. Teams we played.
The other
stuff.
teams, most of them most of them were all right. There was a few that you could tell they were just. They knew that they were going to crush us, and they just gloated you know,
like, oh, you guys suck. It's like,
yeah,
man,
like
we're
really,
just here to have
you need to
fun.
say that, like,
Yeah.
come on.
But
I
most of
will
the guys
say-
were actually
yeah,
not
most of them
super,
were fine. But I will say, I will take being on that team where we lost every game. Like I will take that any day over being on a team that I don't get to play, or I get like the last 2 minutes, or I get like, because I hate it. Like I played on a basketball team like that, like in right before middle school. So it was like 6th grade. It was like the good team. Like it was still a kids league, but it was like people. This was set up. You know you know the guy I'm talking about who has the gym in his house. Like some very wealthy people on the team, you know, and like my dad was trying really hard to get me on this team, and I played on that team, and I hated it so much because I like basketball, but I just hated being on that team because my coach would never play me. Or if he did, he would wait till like the last 5 minutes, and that's all the playing time I would ever get. I literally talk to him. Yeah, seriously. I would talk to him, and I would say, Coach, put me in. Like this is a kids league. Like this is not competitive. I want to play. And I would say it to him, and I would say, seriously, you need to put me in. Like we're not playing for keeps, and he wouldn't do it. Like there would be games where sometimes he'd forget and put me in like just 2 minutes. Like, oh, sorry, you know, like go. And I would. Why even be on a team like that? Like you don't learn anything. You don't get to play.
Yeah.
I will be on a losing team.
That you get to play and have
I get
fun.
to play on and have fun with.
And our teammates were awesome. Like we were friends with everyone on the team, which was nice.
And
too.
I didn't even care that we were losing all the time because we got to play and we had fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, that's our embarrassing and horrible stories from
sporting events. So yeah, look at us. Aren't they fun?
Aren't
they grand? Yeah. So that was episode 5 of Cabin Flannel. I have been Caleb.
I'm Ryan.
And we'll speak to you next week.